Good evening, all of you, and a warm welcome to you once again, Mr. Ramamurthy. What a day it has been, from trying to chart the changes and the transformation in the banking sector to now we have come where we would want to understand from you the changes or our changes in investment strategies for the BFSI sector. And it's such a momentous month for us here in FE also to think that BSE completes 150 years today. So in that journey, obviously the BFSI sector has played a key role. If you could elaborate on that journey.
BFSI sector has just not played an important role in the history of BSE. It has played a great role for the economic development of this country as a whole. I'll give you some figures which will help you to understand that. Banking sector is the second largest sector in the Indian markets today after IT. We have 40 banking companies listed with us. The combined market cap of all these 40 banking companies is $625 billion US. The total market capitalization of BSE has just crossed 5 trillion, as you will be aware. You all should have 100% heard the term Sensex, which is the oldest index in India and probably one of the oldest indices in Asia. 38% of the index is represented by banking sector. Just it is not that which is the role of this sector in BSE's journey. As I told you just a few minutes before, the transition from T plus anything, as what we used to call the settlement cycle, to T plus 5 to T plus 2 to T plus 1, and we are already doing some amount of T plus 0, it has all been possible because of the nice way in which the banking sector has gotten enmeshed with the securities industry. Securities industry also has mutual funds in it. And I was telling somebody before this meeting, the number of folios in mutual fund has already touched around 19 crores. I just told you a few minutes before, the unique client codes in BSE is just 18 crores. The mutual fund folios have touched 19 crores. The amount of money collected through SIPs is increasing every month. In May, it was around 22,000 crores. How was it possible? How it is being done? Mostly by mobile, right? And how the mobile is able to do it? Through digital payment, through the banking sector, which has gotten nicely enmeshed with the securities market. So BSE's role as a market regulator and a stock exchange and a service provider is enabled in a big way because of the digitalization and technological transformation of the banking and financial services industry.
You touched upon retail participation, and if we see the banking index, it's yielded over 23% returns in the past 1 year. In that context, if you could talk about retail interest in the BFSI sector, especially, and overall retail participation in the markets.
See, overall participation of retail in the market has always been high, because if you look at it, who are all the various participants in the market? Domestic institutions. That is very easy to say who is a domestic institution. Foreign participatory institutions, very easy to identify. Proprietary trading activity, very easy to identify. Whatever the balance is left, we are loosely calling it as retail. The moment we loosely call something as retail, the image that comes to our mind is the image of a person, the R.K. Lakshman's person, who is standing in the Horniman circle. Is it true? It is not. Whatever you could not classify, you have classified it as retail. Because it was easy to classify for you domestic institution, foreign institution and proprietary trade. Whatever individual trade was there, you called everything as retail. And you gave a simple figure, which is the R.K. Lakshman's figure. No, that is not retail. Retail is a mix of multiple things. There are very high net worth individuals who trade. And there are very, very small people for whom only one trade at a time. One share, one trade at a time. So it's a mix of a very heterogeneous group of people. And this group of people constitute the bulk. Why they constitute the bulk? Domestic institutions are permitted to trade certain things or not permitted to trade certain things. They trade for delivery. They cannot buy and sell the same script the same day. Same is the case with foreign institutions. So the activity is very limited from these participants. Proprietary trading people generally provide liquidity on both sides by giving quotes on both sides. So who is the other side who takes all the quotes and buys or sells so that the machinery of trading is well oiled? It is that what we so call as retail. So the participation has always been a significant contribution to the market. I don't have specific amount and percentage of retail participation in BFSI sector as it is. But since you touched upon BankX giving returns, let me give you some more additional interesting data. The last 10 years, BankX has grown from 17,500 to 60,500 now. In the 10 years, what has been the percentage growth? The return is almost 246%. If you take Nifty Financial Services Index, which is provided by NSE from public domain data, which has top 20 companies from the financial services sector, during the same period, it has yielded slightly a lesser return, 233%. This shows how the BFSI sector has been growing all along.
So in that context, the other thing that I would want to ask you is in the recent past, we have seen a spree of regulatory action against a lot of players in the BFSI segment. So how do you think these improve the prospect of the sector as a whole or improve the prospect as an investment destination?
I am not able to honestly relate to this question. I'll tell you why. The regulatory actions are regulatory actions. And why regulatory actions happen? When a sector is growing very fast, along with it, the probability of fraud also grows. Fraud takes multiple forms. I am told that the frauds have increased so much. I'll give some number. The fraud cases has increased by 708%, it seems, in the last 2 years. This is as per RBI data, online frauds. I'm sure every one of you are receiving phone calls or WhatsApp messages. Every third day I receive a phone call from US, +1, right? Dear customer, you have entered into a transaction of 43,200 rupees with your Regalia card ending with a number alpha, beta, delta, gamma. If it is not your transaction, please press 9. If it is your transaction, please press 1. I don't have a Regalia card. Then where I can have a Regalia card with a number ending with alpha, beta, delta, gamma? Typically, what will be the reaction? People will press 9. Then what happens? Somebody comes on the line. And when somebody comes on the line, they ask you certain details, which innocently you tell in your panic, and that's it, your bank account is wiped off. In such a situation, if this is the type of fraud, regulatory actions certainly have to be stringent to ensure there is a control. What is the difference between growth and development? Growth can be cancerous. Development is always positive. So when growth happens, a regulator will be worried that it should not be cancerous and it should be development. So naturally, there will be regulatory actions. I'm not sure how it will impair or impact an investment. If at all anything, that should give confidence to the investors that there is a regulator who is watching like a hawk to see that there is no malpractice happening in the market, and therefore they will be safeguarded. Who will not be safeguarded? who can never be safeguarded. If an investor thinks that he can invest the following way, he can never be safeguarded. What is that way? Let's assume I am the investor. If I start investing in a stock because my neighbor told me that his friends' neighbors, wives, sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, grandmother's some brother told that this is a good stock. You know what? He bought it last week at 2 rupees. Today, just in 5 trading days, it has become 200 rupees. So immediately, suddenly you become mathematically intelligent. In 5 days, if it has grown 100 times, how many working days are there? How much it will grow? And if I put 5 rupees today, what it will be? And then you start dreaming and you put all your money, and then what happens? You don't find the code for that company after a few months or few weeks or few days. And you are told, oh, that company, it has been delisted or it has been suspended. Then you start shouting up and down, telling, I am a poor retail investor, please protect me. But why you were in such a situation, why you are in such a situation, you have to be protected. You didn't bother to protect yourself, no? That is the type of investor who should be worried. If somebody is not the type of an investor, every regulatory action should give him more courage that the regulators are looking at it like a hawk. He should make his analysis and invest.
Very true, very true. It's a very interesting day that we are having this conversation here, because it's also a day where many exchanges globally have faced outage. But here in India, especially BSE, it's been a pretty uneventful day. If you want to throw a bit of light on that.
I'm not sure whether it is an uneventful day. It's an eventful day because there were no events. Because everybody else had a problem. Fortunately, we had no operational glitch or anything arising out of this, whatever the Microsoft issue which you are talking about. Some of the brokers who would have provided in their mobile platforms a patch, those clients might not have been able to trade. As an exchange, we didn't have a problem. As a clearing corporation, we didn't have a problem. Therefore, it was a good day for us.
Absolutely. And on that note, you know, your closing thoughts, if you had a crystal ball to gaze, your outlook for the future.
Unfortunately, I consider myself as, if I can use Hindi, if that is okay, I am a chammach in the big banda of kheer. Chammach kya jane, kheer ka swad. I cannot give you any forward-looking statement because I am here to just pados the kheer which is there in the big vessel. I am here to serve you with a platform. So I don't know what will be the future of the market, and I don't predict it and I don't comment on it.
Thank you so much for sparing time.
Thank you.
With all your insights. Thank you so much. Thank you.